Welcome to Football Roundup with yours truly, Randy Silver, where we break down the biggest soccer football stories daily for you. There's only one story today to start off with. It was all over your phone this morning when you woke up. The U.S. Women's National Team is out of the World Cup, crashing out in the round of 16 versus Sweden in penalty kicks. So today we're going to dive into a full World Cup recap, the U.S. Women's National Team. We're going to go over how they did in the group stage, go over how they did in the Sweet 16. Were they supposed to win? Were they supposed to lose? Were they playing well? Were they not playing well? Go over it, pundit analysis, reaction, and give you all the details and how their run ended before they were able to get to the Elite Eight, Final Four, and the grand daddy of them all, the final. The U.S. Women's National Team was going for a three-peat in the World Cup. Not one, not two, three in a row. It's never happened in men or women's national team before, so they were trying to set a record. Unfortunately, they did not get it done. The first one was in 2015 on this run, as you see here on the screen. They did it in Canada. The second one, a part of the run, was in 2019 when they were in France. And the third one would have been a part of this run in the combination of Australia and New Zealand. However, they did not get it done, losing in the round of 16. Why were they in the round of 16? Because they came in second in the group, meaning they got to move forward. So that's the good part, that they moved forward. The bad part of the round of 16 that they were in, they came in second in the group, so they had to play a much tougher matchup in Sweden, while Netherlands came in first. Usually the USA comes in first in the group, so this was unexpected. All the money was on them to come in first. So what happened? Why did they not come in first in their group? It's a great question. In their group, they only won one game. The first game was 3-0 versus Vietnam. The second game they played was 1-1 against Netherlands. And the third game they tied Portugal 0-0. In the Vietnam game, Vietnam's coefficient, their ranking in FIFA, is extremely low. This was their first time in the World Cup, so they should have blown them out. 3-0 is not a big enough win for the amount of shots and possession they had. They got a quick goal, got a couple more goals, but that was it. So there were some warning signs there, but hey, first game of the World Cup, let it go. Against Netherlands, they did not play a good first half. U.S. Women's National Team captain scored a goal, header goal in the second half after a fiery affair with her teammate from club level to tie it 1-1. USA had possession in the second half more, could not get the final goal. Some warning signs there, why we're not scoring. But hey, good resilience. We don't show that a lot because we're usually winning. Against Portugal, they had most of the possession, a lot of shots. Portugal sat deep, played good formation to be able to stop the U.S. national team, and they did. In the final seconds, Portugal almost scored a goal, hit the post, and would have knocked the U.S. altogether out of the World Cup and not made the Sweet 16. But because of this right here, unfortunately, this means that they got 3 points from Vietnam, 1 from Netherlands, 1 for Portugal. 5 points, second place in the group. Portugal would have left them because they would have had 4 points. Portugal would have had 7 if they would have beat the U.S. 6 if they would have beat the U.S. So that's how they came in second. Now they have to play Sweden in the round of 16. Sweden dominated their group, first seed, 0-0 again, and then they won 5-4 in penalties. So you're seeing a trend here that the U.S. was not scoring goals. And this was the biggest problem, as you may have read over the whole World Cup. If you're into it, or if you're just hearing today, why did they lose? They were not scoring goals. Played really solid defense, as you can see here. Only gave up 1 goal in the whole World Cup. But when you score 4 goals total in 4 games, and 3 are from 1 game, it's not going to help you win, especially in knockout rounds. You got to score goals. Against Sweden, it's been a mixed bag. They've won some games against Sweden in the World Cups, Olympics. They've lost some games against Sweden in the World Cup and Olympics. They've tied some games. So this really was an up and down draw. Most recently, in the 2020 Olympics, Sweden beat the U.S. 3-0, and that was a big blow to them in the Olympics, and they ended up not doing well in that Olympic. In the 2019 World Cup, the U.S. did beat Sweden 2-0. In this game, the U.S. had 22 shots total, 11 on goal. Sweden had 9 shots total with 1 on goal. So U.S. had the possession. It means they had the ball in Sweden's third a lot of shots around the goal, but why are we not putting it in? It's because Sweden's keeper stood on their head. Excuse me if I say this name wrong. Zekara Muskovic had 11 saves, 9 safe shots from inside the box, 3 clearances, 2 high claims, 1 punch, and a score of 10 out of 10. Absolutely crushed it. Women of the match, probably the best performance of any keeper in the World Cup so far. Without her, the team doesn't move forward for Sweden. How did the U.S. lose? On penalty kicks. The U.S. needed 1 penalty kick to win the game. The U.S. made the first three, while Sweden made the first two, missed the third, so that means they're up one. They both missed their fourth. U.S. with the fifth means they were up 3-2. U.S. makes that fifth, they win 4-2. Missed. Sweden makes their fifth, so now it's 3-3. In the round of six, then they both make it, so now it's 4-4. Round seven, U.S. missed, and then Sweden makes it in their seventh, and that's the game. And how they made it was absolutely controversial. In the end, VR had to step in by a millimeter. A millimeter, the ball went over the line. USA goalies initially saved it. It bounced over the line, barely, then bounced back out. She said it didn't go in. Sweden stood around. They didn't know what happened. The whole situation took a minute or two. Referee put her fingers to her ear, listened to the box, went to VAR, and they confirmed it went in by a millimeter. We're talking like a post-it note type of width. It was so small. And with that ball going over the line, the U.S.'s chance of three-peat was over. They're going back home to America. Alyssa Nair, the U.S. goalkeeper, had a really good overall World Cup, so props to her. She did well in the penalty. She was able to save one, but unfortunately, she will probably have some nightmares about that one that did not go in. The biggest thing that happened in the U.S. in this World Cup, they could not score. This stat to me is really interesting. I want to share with you. Their expected goals based off of performance was 9 over the 4 games. Unfortunately, they only had 4. So they were 2x and change down from where they should have been. They get a couple more of those goals in the group stage. They're not playing Sweden right now. They get one of those goals against Sweden. They win the game. So pretty disappointing here overall. Their expected average assist was 6.5 and they only had 3. So 2x below that as well. Overall, again, it just shows that they had possession, they had good play, they were just not able to perform in the final third. And then to Haran, their captain, put on a great performance for the team, on the field, off the field, so give her credit for being able to lead the team while they weren't probably playing their best and they knew it. This is their earliest elimination, the U.S. women's. This is the earliest elimination the women have had from the World Cup ever in U.S. history. Not good history to make. The U.S. women finished the 2023 World Cup on a 238-minute scoring drought, the longest of women's World Cup history. Again, just proving all the facts, proving all everything. Again, this just proves all the facts, everything that we know, that they were not scoring goals, and that's why they lost. And it's pretty evident they'll say the same thing. This is the first time the U.S. women's national team has not finished This is the first time the U.S. women's national team has finished lower than third place at the Women's World Cup. That's high legacy to have to live up to. There were about 13 or 14 new players in their first World Cup for the U.S. women's national team. To have to live up to that is very tough. High pressure, high stress, and sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. Overall, they will be back, which is good. The U.S. women's national team, or the U.S. Federation, put out a statement saying they want to express gratitude to fans and supporters. This wasn't the result we were hoping, but want to just congratulate the rest of the women's soccer on being able to achieve success, and we'll be back. I do agree with this, that this is amazing to see Netherlands tie them, Portugal tie them, Sweden beat them in PKs. This means the global level of women's soccer is raising. Vietnam only lost by 3 when they're expected to be much more. So that's amazing for women's sports, women's soccer, women across the world. Hopefully it's more competitive each year like the Men's World Cup, because that's what you want to see in the game. Highest level competition. You want to see all these different teams competing and having success. One player you want to see moving forward is Julie Ertz. She's an all-time legend in women's soccer. She's won the World Cup. She wasn't playing in the World Cup qualifying, and they called her back because of injuries, and she came through and absolutely was a dominant force playing center back, which is not her real position. She's a center defensive mid. You may recognize the last name Ertz because her husband Zach Ertz plays in the NFL. She's 1,000 times better than Zach is at NFL. He's a great player. It shows you the level that she is. This is appreciation for the U.S. women's national team. They did not hit the success they were hoping. They came up short of the three-peat. They came up short for many of these players' first time in the World Cup to get their first one, but they will be back and they will be better because of it. As I said, a lot of people were young, so these people who are young in their early 20s will hit their mid-20s and prime in the next time the World Cup comes around in 2027. So they will be better for this experience. They will have the opportunity to play in the Olympics next year in France. They'll have 4 years of playing for their club, so they're going to come back and be 20 times better. Another person who won't be coming back is one of the best players ever for U.S. women's national team is Megan Rapinoe. Take out what she does off the field, You may love it, you may hate it. When you look at the stats of what she achieved, it's undeniable. She's a living legend. She's a World Cup champion twice. She was FIFA's Women's Player of the Year in 2019. She was FIFA's World Cup Golden Boot winner in 2019. She's FIFA Women's World Cup Golden Ball winner in 2019. She was Ballon d'Or Femmes winner in 2019. Absolutely an unbelievable player. Unfortunately, it did not work out well for her in this World Cup. But if you look at previous World Cups, look at highlight tape, she's a tremendous, tremendous player. What did some people say from Twitter? People were critical of the veterans by not scoring or not playing well. Hercules Gomez here of ESPN talked about losing to Sweden. You know, you didn't play that bad, but you could avoid it if you played better throughout. He was critical of the head coach, Vlatko. He most likely is going to be gone after this because they then win the Olympics. You then win the World Cup. Why would you move forward with him as a coach? Get a new fresh face, a new voice in the locker room to lead this team. Same thing here with Neil W. Blackman. He talked about the loyalty the coach showed that people probably shouldn't have been up there, and also the wrong tactics. Again, you can debate that however you want, but it just shows that people are being very critical of the head coach moving forward. So there's our World Cup recap. What did you think? Tell me your thoughts on the World Cup. Did you think the women did well, not do well, underperform, overperform? Please share your thoughts in the comments. And of course, again, subscribe here so you get updated when Football Roundup drops daily. We're going to give you all the sporting news around the global game for you to be prepared. We'll be coming down the line. We're going to go ahead and do a full-on preview show for the big 5 leagues in Europe: England, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany. That will be coming out this week. Next week, all those leagues basically start, and we're back in the full swing of football, baby, which means Champions League is pretty close. Women's World Cup will be going on for Sweet 16 still, so we'll go ahead and keep you updated on how those are all going as well when those games progress, and of course the finals. Football Roundup out. American women, thank you for everything that you provided. Unfortunately, it did not turn out the way we all hoped, but you're inspiration to all of us. Deuces.